Hello and good day to you, my fellow miracles. It is Susan, your favorite optimistic drunk, here to just share a few minutes with you on another fantastic day on this side of the dirt. I've had quite a few instances over the past 3 days of talking about and contemplating the impact fear has in our lives. And it's not just from a recovery aspect. Fear plays a part in so many people's lives. It can have a real impact on, your career course, on decisions you make regarding relationships, on possible relocation, just so many different things. I had a friend tell me years ago, this was so profound. He shared with me his belief that every emotion that is not of a positive nature stems from fear. I still remember him sitting there sharing that with me. His name is Jim, and Jim was so excited to share this with me. And at that moment I realized it was a very, very profound thought, and it took me a bit to really kind of ingest it, to really absorb it. And I remember watching Jim watch me as I started to process what he had said. Every emotion that is not positive stems from fear. It's fascinating because as I have gnawed on that and tossed it around my noggin, for it's probably been about 2 years, I have really come to believe it is absolutely true. I see people whose actions, are just, they're just doing what they think they want to do, what maybe they feel they need to do. A lot of times it's really ugly the way they're acting, the way that they're behaving. But they think they're being tough. And when you really break it down, although I'm sure, a lot of these people would never admit it is coming from a place of fear. It's coming because they're scared. They're, afraid to let the world see who they really are. They're afraid to appear vulnerable. They're afraid to expose that soft underbelly, because somebody might come along and just go, wow, and claw it open. So I have struggled with so many fears, my entire life. My goodness, fear is ultimately what really, drove a lot of my drinking. Just fear of the buzz in my brain, fear of the voices in my head. I was talking with another friend yesterday and he alluded to voices in his head. He said, they're not actual voices. I'm, not hearing voices, but it's just your head, just that constant buzz, just that self-talk, that stuff just going on. And so much of it just propelling me to believe, I'm not good enough, not smart enough, not, thin enough, not funny enough, not anything, fill in the blank. But again, just fear-based. I'm not certain if that's something that is part of our nature, part of our design to keep us alive way back when we had to be really cautious of, looking out for things that could harm us, or if it's something that has developed kind of in response to just all the stuff happening around us, all the things going on every day, so much stimulation, so much stuff. So many things. It's, if you buy this, you'll be happy. And if you don't buy that, you'll be happy. And if you feel this and take that, then you won't feel this, so you'll be better because you're not feeling it. It literally is just, it's kind of amazing when you think about it that, that any of us can function on a daily basis with all of the things we're being fed that are intentionally causing us to be fearful. I mean, that seems like the underlying goal of all of it. Oh my gosh, if I don't have that, I might not fill in the blank. So fear, I guess what I'm going to ask is just consider if you're struggling right now, if you're struggling with your recovery, if you're struggling with just, just having some rough days. A lot of folks close to the Midwest, we're experiencing winter. It's snowy, it's overcast. That can really affect people. So if you're struggling with things right now, kind of look at that and, is any of that coming from fear? Are any of these things you're not moving forward with? Is that because of fear? Are you scared what might happen if you actually commit to something and just try to do it? So I'm gonna throw something out at you. What about if you don't commit to anything and you just stay kind of floundering where you are? Isn't that thought a lot more fearful? No, fearful's not the right word. Scary? Isn't that thought a lot more scary than maybe trying something and failing? I was talking with a very dear friend, and he's struggling with some things right now. Not really sure how to approach them. And I asked him, I said, have you really committed to trying any course of action to address this? It's a lot of anxiety, crippling anxiety. And his answer was very honest, which I appreciated. He said, not really. He said, I really haven't fully committed to anything. And I asked him, to figure out which approach he was willing to commit to and to just do it. And I said, you need to get past the fear of it not working and realize it might not work. But if you don't commit and if you don't fully try it, you'll never know. The fear, it's almost silly sometimes when we break it down. We're afraid of failing. But through failing, we learn. I think Edison, he's got a famous quote about, he had over, I think it was 18,000 failures before he finally made a light bulb that worked. And we don't think about that. We don't think about the sports star with the interceptions or the strikeouts. We just think, ooh, wow, he's a big deal because he hits home runs. You've got to be, or you've got to at least face the fact you're gonna fail at stuff. Good grief, I failed at a lot of things, but I've gotten back up and kind of brushed myself off and gone, okay, well, that was embarrassing. It's where you look around going, did anybody really see that? They didn't. Oh, okay. Failure is not bad. Failure is a lesson disguised as something else. It's imperative to experience failure. You have to fall down in order to learn why walking is such a cool thing to be able to do. So fear, if you're facing, or I guess if you're experiencing fear right now, really about any situation in your life, the best thing you can do is simply just put your head down, decide, you know what, I'm just going to plug through it and do it. If you fail, you fail. That's okay. Get back up and try again. I mean, you can keep what you're doing private. You can keep it quiet and have your failure be private and quiet. But just commit to it. If you're experiencing, anger, if you're experiencing just emotional outbursts, kind of think about, where's that coming from? Is it, is it, are you fearful people are going to figure out you don't have it all figured out? Um, Dig into things just a little bit and kind of break down, is that fear a rational thing, or is it just something you're so used to having with you, you don't know how to operate any other way? Um, Another really good friend, I've had a lot of just really terrific conversations with some folks very dear to me over the past few days. And I've used the word serendipitous, a lot regarding the past couple days. Again, these conversations have been placed in my life exactly when I needed them. Um, Lessons to be learned, things to think about, things to consider and share, and maybe help one of you to kind of think about or figure out. But another very good friend, we were talking over dinner last night, and she was talking about just, she just is fearful of so much. She's fearful, where is the money going to come from to pay bills? Where is it going to come? And I just said, you've just got to see it and just say, stop, go. I'm a firm believer what you focus on is what you bring into your life. Um, if you focus on, learning and moving forward, if you focus on having successes outweigh failures, if you focus on drawing good people into your life, if you focus on today, I'm going to make really good choices, you increase your ability to do all of those things. If you focus, however, on, oh my gosh, I can't, I don't, I won't, that's what you're sending out. And as I heard it described, the universe doesn't care what you're sending out. It's gonna hear it all and go, oh, okay, that's what he or she wants. Okay, this is what I'm gonna give him back. So there you go. So you may have heard the phrase "fake it till you make it." When it comes to fear, just fake it till you make it. And I've thought about that quite a bit. I used to just, my anxiety at points has been just crippling. There's not a better word for it. And another friend asked me yesterday, how did I get over it? How did I get to the point where I can function without really having that impact me? And I said, I think I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. I used a lot of different methods, meditation, deep breathing, tapping, prayer, just different things like that, which absolutely have helped me. But when it came down to it, there were times literally I just prayed, help me through this. Just terrified of, I still at this point don't know exactly what, of facing the next thing to come up, of not facing it, of failing at it. I don't know. But just plugging through it. I don't know if it's, my sheer stubbornness. I don't know. But when it comes to being fearful, to being afraid, give yourself some credit. You're stronger than you think. You can handle a lot more than you realize. So take a deep breath. Say something kind to yourself. And keep moving forward. Try to acknowledge it and then put it out of your mind. Because if it's taking up space in your head, it's not doing you any good. So I don't know if these thoughts help at all. I'm going to explore this a whole lot more because, man, fear is something, it stands in so many of our ways in recovery. It's such a monumental thing to address and to work through. I sure as hell don't have all the answers. I've figured out some things that work for me in addressing it. So I'm just going to share those. If any of you, have thoughts, ideas, please feel free to share them. I'd love to hear what you think. If any of this is beneficial to you, if there are things, you're like, hell, Susan, you just wasted 10 minutes of my time I'll never have back. Try to be kind, but if it does help, I'd love to hear it. If there are things you think would help you more, I'd really like to hear that. That's the whole point of this, If I can get one person just to realize what an amazing life there is, holy cow, that'll be worth it. So, I'm going to leave you with just wishes for a tremendous rest of your day. Again, in the background, still, I'm going to give a shout out every time I have this. This is Meditative Mind. This one is called Into a Mystical Forest. It's enchanted Celtic music. So it also incorporates, 432 hertz, the solfeggio tones, and it's just got a little Celtic ring to it, so it's kind of neat. But enjoy the day. Treat yourselves kindly. Give yourself credit for just how hard you're fighting. You're worth fighting for. So keep on doing it, okay? All right. Have a good one, and I will talk to you soon.